Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing the Combat Achievement Task Point Rework. Now I will be covering this from the point of view of a combat only account, and as you can see, what that means is we only train the combat stats and the utility skill Slayer. So what is happening to the combat tasks? Well, instead of having to complete every single task in a tier, you'll now have to complete a certain amount of points to achieve a tier. And what that means is that these special account types can take advantage of the rewards and complete the relevant tasks to achieve certain tiers. Now, as a combat-only account, we can only do up to the elite tier at this current moment, but even that will be a challenge. I will have the point values listed on screen. So when does this point rework happen? Well, it happens this month, May of 2023. It was confirmed in the most recent Gelinor Gazette. Now, why does this update as a whole impact the combat-only account type? Well, you see, when we go to these tasks here, we have the easy tasks, and while there are a few I have not done, there are some like the Deranged Archaeologist. Our account types cannot access this boss, nor can we do Wintertodd and Temporos. And because we'll be able to complete the tiers according to points, we can do higher tier tasks to make up for those tasks that we can't do, meaning that we can access the rewards from the combat achievements post points update. Now, the rewards. Now, I'm not going to go over the experience lamps. I will simply list those on screen per tier, and I will only be explaining up to the elite tier because that's all we have access to. Now, I do suspect over time that as more combat achievements are added that we can't access, we will eventually lose access to the elite tier, but again, that's speculation, so take that with a grain of salt. On top of getting the experience lamps, you will have a 5% increased chance to receive the relevant clue scroll per tier. And of course, that will also be listed on screen. I will continue to ramble on so that the text can stay on a little bit longer for your reading pleasure. And up next, the Gommel's Hilt. This is the big thing that our accounts are getting access to, and this allows us to teleport to the God Wars dungeon. Now, at this current moment, the creation date of this video, you need 15 agility to climb over the rocks to access the God Wars dungeon area, or I should say the Trollheim summit. Trollheim Mountain? Whatever, you get the point. And of course, you need the completion of Death Plateau for the climbing boots. Within God Wars dungeon, the combat-only account type can only access 2 out of the 4 bosses. This includes Bandos and Zamorak. We cannot access Saradomin because we do not have the agility requirement of 70, and we cannot access the Armadillo boss room as we do not have access to a Mithril Grapple at the moment. And don't even bother mentioning next to me. But in this instance, the normal combat-only account types will be able to go and access Krill for the Zamorak Spear, maybe the Staff of the Dead, and of course Bandos for the Bandos Armor. This is arguably the biggest update for the combat-only account type in ever. And the amount of teleports scales per tier, listed on screen once again. However, once we get access to this hilt, we can simply teleport right to the entrance of the God Wars dungeon. And of course, if you complete elite tier, you also get 3 daily teleports to Mor Rec. The Like a Boss Slayer task unlock will allow players to get increased kills per tier, and that will be listed on screen. I don't really see a point in going specifically over each tier and dividing this up. It increases per tier. That's just how it goes. For easy, medium, and hard tiers, you will obtain increased Void Knight commendation points per game of pest control. So you're gonna wanna put off pest control for at least a little bit until you have some of these tiers completed. And for the easy and medium tiers, you will get increased Warrior Guild tokens from the Warriors Guild. I'd say from now on, you probably want that medium tier before you hit up the Warriors Guild for your defenders. From the medium tier and up, we will be able to store more cannonballs in our cannon, which we actually don't have access to, so this is a null and void point. and a useless reward for us. At the hard tier and elite tier, you get increased God Wars dungeon benefits, including reduced kill count requirements to enter the rooms, increased ecumenical key drop rates, which, you know, Can be used, but it's not optimal to go for, especially for the bosses that we have access to. And we also get private instances for a cost. Additionally, at the hard tier, we have the ability to combine the KBD heads with the Dragon Hunter crossbow, which I'd definitely say would be a flex, as if you want to keep dragons off of your Slayer task list, you just don't start Dragon Slayer, but that means you don't have access to anti-fire protection. So it'd be a bit of a pain to kill KBD. Also at the hard tier, the cost of imbuing items at Nightmare Zone and Soul Wars is halved, meaning I'll probably get refunded for some of the points on this Berserker ring. Pretty cool. Free Soul Wars crates, I guess. So at the elite tier, Gommel can make players a new Slayer helmet, but combat only accounts don't actually have access to a Slayer helmet. We do not have access to Most Harmless, nor do we have access to Bracelets of Slaughter or Expeditious Bracelets. However, the superior Slayer monster spawn rate increase is a very positive thing for our account types if you manage to obtain that challenging elite tier. So with all that said, I do believe that covers the Combat Achievement Points Rework update for us all. If I missed anything, let me know down below. And remember, this is a review of the combat only aspect of the Combat Achievements Point Rework, so I'm not covering Master or Grandmaster as they are unobtainable tiers. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and I figured I'd mention at the end of this video that I will specifically address how this impacts Inquisitor in an upcoming Inquisitor video when it's relevant. Speaking of Inquisitor, I'm still in the process of gathering clips for the next episode. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check out Inquisitor. I will have a card on screen right now. Check out Season 1 and Season 2 that's airing right now. And also, with this big update coming for our account types, if you're interested in making a combat only type of account, then be sure to click the video in the card to learn how you should approach the early game. Anyways, without further ado, I'd like to give a thank you to the channel members, and most recently, Perfect G, who rejoined the channel. Thank you very much for that. It is appreciated. And for everything else, I'm just gonna leave 20 seconds of footage rolling so that you can click something relevant in this outro screen. Yes, you really want to click something. You should probably do that now. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one.